live button. It's preparing to live stream the meeting, setting up the meeting,
Oh, it's live stream
redirecting.
YouTube.
Is redirecting.
Okay, live now. Just saw it. Got it.
Yeah.
Just click the
let
go
me-
live button. It's preparing
Oh,
to
there you go.
the meeting.
I'm trying to get the link. Share.
Oh, it's live stream YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Okay, live now. Just saw it. Got it. All right, I'm copying the link. I'm sending the link over to the chat. Everybody could put it in their page. I'm trying to get the link. See the post. Sorry for the delay. Now, just saw it. Got it.
Righty. So we're live on YouTube. So we have to let's get it going. And as soon as you are ready, Davone, we can start.
All right. I'm sending it up now. Okay, and let me just send it to Three-Time Voice and then we can start. Sorry for the delay, everybody. So.
Ready. So are we good to go?
Yes.
Got the link. Everybody has it on Facebook. You shared it.
Should I?
Yep, I shared it on my page. Okay, and we shared in the groups.
Got the link. Everybody has it on Facebook.
Someone needs to mute something.
That's me.
Mm-hmm. I was just laughing at that.
Everybody has it on Facebook.
You a mess. I was just laughing at that.
Okay.
A mess.
All right. Okay, here we go. And
Are we recording? Are we recording?
We're live now.
We have been live, but I'm about to record now as soon as you let me know you're ready.
I am ready, honey.
Let's do it. Recorded.
Oh, actually, I can I record over here too or no?
We're recording, Davone. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Are we recording? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So hi, everybody. First off, let me just say that we are so sorry that we're like almost 30 minutes late. It wasn't our fault. Zoom is having some kind of issues. We could not live stream on Facebook. I was having problems bringing it on my YouTube. But my brother Jevon got us on his YouTube and we're ready to go.
Yeah. Because Facebook, I don't know what's happening. They're not allowed.
Facebook is on a period today.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so.
They are not allowing us to live stream on Facebook from Zoom. So Facebook, please get it together. I'm gonna have to
Thank you.
Send some emails.
Facebook being as shady as Monica was last night on that battle.
Oh no, we're not gonna discuss that right now. So we are here to talk about dating. And we are here not only to talk about just any old type of dating, but we're here to talk about loving trans women, dating trans women, getting to know trans women, and what that looks like for cis guys and their safety, well-being, mental health, etc. So we have Troy Kennedy, And Troy
Troy.
has been a staple in the community for many, many years. And this guy is my go-to brother when it comes to in anything with dating trans women, right? He can answer questions and has been around for many years. And I appreciate you being here, Troy. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me. I know we've been trying to connect for a while, so I appreciate the opportunity.
All right, all right. And this is exciting for me because I get to talk to Joel, who is someone that's new on the scene that I have never met. And he's going to let us know what he goes through and what it's like dating trans women from his perspective. And just so that everyone knows, all conversations on Davone and Jevon's YouTube channel, Facebook, are the opinions of the individual and do not reflect upon any agency, organization, job that any of us work at. Disclaimer. Thank you. Yvonne, take it away.
Okay. I always have a lot of questions. I'm like the question girl. So first off, Troy and Joel, where you from? How old are you?
Want to start, Troy, or?
Go ahead, brother.
Okay. We're both based in Detroit, Michigan. I am 38 years old, and been here all my life. Go ahead.
Are you single?
Single. Yeah, single.
Troy?
Well, like you said, I'm from Detroit. I'm older than 38. I'm 50. I'm 56. I've been dating.
You
trans
look good.
women.
Black don't crack.
Thank you, baby. I've been dating trans women since I was 19. So I've been around this community for a very long time. I've lived all over the country. I've traveled abroad. So, been around a little bit for a little bit of time.
All right. So my first question is, when was the first time you realized you was attracted to a trans woman? Troy?
Well, the first time I didn't know she was a trans woman. She was a woman I was attracted to. And hence caused the confusion, especially, a long, long time ago. It was just a woman I saw. She happened to be in trouble. I helped her out. We connected. We started seeing one another. And after a period of time, she let me know that she was a woman of trans experience. And at that time, way back in 1983, 84-ish, there was no internet or Maury, social media. There was nothing to fall back on. So I went through a little bit of stuff, but I knew she was a woman that I was attracted to. I found out about the trans later.
Joel, I wanted to piggyback on something Troy said, but I can't remember right now. What was the first time that you was attracted to a trans woman?
First time was actually probably about 2 years ago.
Oh, okay, you're a newbie.
Yeah, and it came about because I actually really wanted to just do some serious dating, really get to know the women real well, and that's how it started. And after that start, that's when I met Brother Troy, and got acquainted with knowledge and things like that of this community. So yeah, just 2 years ago for me.
Okay.
Well, Davone, this is something that you might not know. I also have dated trans women.
I know that. That's something somebody out there may not know, but I know that.
Yes, yes. And I look at everyone as, just a person, right? And I tell people, you put yourself in a box, right? But you say, "Oh, I don't like labels and boxes." So how do you know that you're not missing out on an opportunity to be loved the way you want to be loved? We search for whatever this great love is that we're searching for, right? And we pour all of our energy into people, and sometimes it's not the right people, meaning we break up, we get divorced, we have arguments, and we um, just part ways, right? Some people part ways ugly, some people part ways peacefully. And it just so happened that I have opened my life up to whoever, and I receive love from wherever, because I don't want to put myself in a box, because who am I to say that this woman or that guy or that person won't love me the way I want to be loved? And it's the same way, Davon, how we were talking about the polyamorous, right?
Right.
Because what someone might have to give towards you in affection, someone else might not be able to. And what you're looking for, that might not be what they do, but someone else might. So it might take a couple of people to satisfy you, to complete you, to get you to wherever it is you want to be affectionately, lovingly, or whatever that. Did I make up a word? Lovingly?
It's
I don't
okay.
know.
We make up words here.
Yes, go ahead. But yeah, that's it.
Let
Entanglement
me
is a made up word.
let me just touch on something you said, and we can get back to it. When you said, you don't want to label yourself, there is a reason why transamorous men label themselves, because for the most part, trans men who are into trans women, trans attracted men who date trans women are hiding in the shadows, and they always have. Years ago, there wasn't a label, and we started using the label because there was nothing to, there was no way to describe ourselves. And
They
so
didn't
actually,
know tranny chasers.
no, that was even, yeah, well, probably back then. I think that was the only term. No, that term didn't even exist. I'm talking hundreds of years ago with me.
Oh,
But
okay. This is the
but
guy
what
that
I'm
wanted
saying,
to date a trans woman.
right? And but because men hide in the shadows, because men are ashamed, because men see it as not normal, it's important that we label ourselves and we stand proudly with that label, because for too long all men did was hide in the shadows. So I just want, when you talk about labels, in your aspect, I understand what you're saying, but us labeling ourselves and standing up can help save lives.
Of course.
And it's important. It's really important to um, walk in your truth and say, who you are and who you date, because it's the same as with Davon. She's a lesbian. She loves women, right? And if
And
she
I do.
if she doesn't say that, then she might have a whole bunch of guys, harassing her, which she does, right? And she still stays true to, hey, thank you, but I'm a lesbian, right? And so how does that, or should I say, what does that look like for you, Joel, when um, you see a woman and she discloses that she's trans, or maybe she doesn't disclose that she's trans, right? Um, what what does that look like for you?
Well, what I would say first is that every woman that I ran across that was trans actually disclosed to me that they were trans. So I want to put that out there because I don't want people to have that narrative that trans women don't disclose that they are trans, that they do if they're engaging with the guy on that level. For me, um, it's just like dealing with a cis woman. I don't really see any difference, in my opinion, at the time that I'm dealing with, dating trans women right now. So I don't really see any difference, that's just where I come from. It's just no difference to me at all.
Okay.
I have a question. I
Mhm.
keep forgetting my questions every time. I say I have a question. Um, I can't remember my question tonight. That's the second question I lost. It was something that you just said, and I can't. And it was good, and I can't remember.
But I would say,
Okay?
Javon, when you like, what I'm saying, the spirit of a woman, what I'm saying, the characteristics and things of that nature, then to me personally, it's just that I don't differentiate between cis and trans women. To me, it's all under the umbrella of a woman, and that's what you
That's what
come
I
to
was
me
gonna
going
ask.
after.
do you date cis women? That's what I was going to ask. Or is it just exclusively trans women? But you just answered that. Mm-hmm. Troy? Your mic is off, Troy.
My apologies. No, I've mostly dated trans women for the last 20 years, but I've dated a woman or two of a cis woman or two over the years. And actually, very recently, I have. So, you know, I love femininity. I love women, you know, cis women, trans women, but I have a preference, a stronger preference for trans women.
So how can we distinguish or separate the whole tranny chaser from transamorous? How, like, what is the, because I feel there's a thin line, right, between your preference of you just dating women, right, because trans women are women, and uh the tranny chaser, right, because you're dating trans women. It's kind of like the same thing. Like, what differentiates being a tranny chaser versus transamorous?
Well, let's take a step back. When I was a younger man, I dated a lot of cis women. I dated all of my friends' sisters and cousins, my co-workers' sisters and cousins. I did more than date them, you know. So was I a chaser then? I was really no different as a younger man as when I first discovered trans women. You know, I was a little greedy. I was self-centered. All I thought about was myself. The only difference was that level of the fear of the unknown, not knowing what being attracted to trans women meant. And so I had to define that. You know, most guys allow others to define what that means, you know. And so what I've been doing over the last few years is I'm going to define me and what it means to me. You can't tell me who I am. I'm going to tell you who I am. And I don't need you to approve it either. I'm telling you who I am. You're going to believe me, or we ain't going to deal with each other. I ain't got no problem with that. You know, so, you know, because your opinion doesn't really matter.
Ashay, that is great. And for you, Joelle, what differentiates, that word differentiates you from being a tranny chaser and transamorous?
I would have to agree with Brother Troy and in your growth aspect. It really is no difference. You know, if you're out there just all on, you know, cis woman, you know what I'm saying, and trying to do your thing, it's virtually no difference, you know, when you move over and start dating a trans woman. It's just being true to yourself and understanding yourself and then growing, you know, becoming a better man, bettering yourself as you go along.
Right. All right. Thank you for that. Davone?
Do you find do you disclose to the cisgender women that you may date in between dating trans women and let them know that you previously dated trans women? Or is just in your mind, you're just saying, I date women, so there's no reason to disclose that specific factor of it? Joe?
I have disclosed before.
Did you get any backlash from it?
I got backlash a couple times, but you know, then again, you know, you're missing out. You're missing on an opportunity of talking to, you know, to talk to a potential good guy. That could be somebody that you can get to know. So, you know, to me, if you want to miss the opportunity, that's on you. You know, I'm not gonna worry about that. You know, it doesn't affect me whatsoever, any way whatsoever.
Troy?
The last woman that I dated, last cis woman that I dated was very recently. And she already knew about me because I'm very public and very open. And she was a friend of some close friends. So she knew it. She knew it anyway. And in fact, we walked past my ex as we were leaving. So So yeah, it's disclosed.
I don't know. I feel like as a cisgender woman, trans women are overly attractive. Like they take being a woman and the femininity to a whole nother level that I probably could not reach that level. Like they're gorgeous. And, because they want to pass and they are real women. Oh, we lost Joe. I think that I would be a little insecure if I did date men and then he told me that he previously dated trans women. I would feel like, well, I can't compare to that. Did you ever have a woman that kind of felt the same way?
I've only dated a few cis women over the last 20 years. Prior to that, I didn't tell. My left hand didn't know what my right hand was doing, so I didn't let anyone know. So, like I said, over the last 20 years, yes, I've told women, and some can't take it. Some just don't understand it. Some have seen, the women that I've dated, the women I've been in long-term relationships with, and they was like, "Oh, man, I don't look like that. I don't look that good. Why do you want to date me?" So, yeah, that's their own personal thing.
Shoot, I
they can
crush
handle
on
it.
trans women. Trans women are gorgeous. Crush
Yes,
on them
ma'am.
all the time. Danny Mock, she's absolutely beautiful.
You see what I'm saying? My sister trying to date my other sister. I can't.
Listen, she's a sister. She's a sister.
Okay, so I have a question from one of our viewers, and they want to know: do trans women have to have tons of surgical enhancements or be passable to be taken seriously by transamorous men?
Good question.
Troy.
Passability is subjective. Some of the most beautiful women in the world aren't passable, but they're beautiful. So that question within itself, it kind of contradicts itself. Just because you're passable, beautiful, doesn't necessarily mean you're passable. So,
and beauty's
I've
in the
dated
eye to
women.
hold them.
Yes, and I've dated women who've had no surgeries, none. They're just on hormones. They're absolutely stunning. Because people don't understand what gender identity truly is. They think that gender is either male or female, and that's it. And it's a spectrum. Study some biology, open up your mind and learn. I dated a woman who was intersex. So she had bits of both, but she was still a woman. She was still able to have children. So again, your ideas of what gender is stuck in the past, stuck in elementary school. So as far as a woman, to your original question, a woman being, passable or having tons of surgery, I prefer a more natural girl. I prefer a more natural look. I don't like the over the top exaggerated look. So I prefer a natural girl, a more athletic girl anyway. So because that's my type of woman. So
Joelle, does the trans woman that you date have to be passable? Do they have to have any surgery enhancements?
Well, one of the first girls I ever dated didn't have any surgeries, and she was a very beautiful girl to me, even though she didn't think that she was. Again, I agree wholeheartedly with Brother Troy. That is very subjective. And then even talking to brothers and groups that in other organizations that we work with, they always ask us that question that women always got to have titties, titties, that they got to have a booty. No, that's all subjective. Again, if you feel that raw feminine energy, that feminine power, if you can feel that spirit, and that's what you go with, and that what sets the boundaries.
Ashe. So we have some more questions. Um, let's talk about interracial dating. Has either of you dated any other races besides Black? Troy, you are muted.
Well, I could take that one first. That
Okay.
I have. Again, the girl that I was talking about a few moments ago, she was of Hispanic descent. Had a mother, actually, a grandmother, who actually came from Mexico to Austin, Texas, and then from there to Detroit. So I had to learn some, just very simple Spanish, so that way I can communicate with her. So to me, that was a different experience. I got to meet a lot of her family members that were in Chicago. So it was different. So
How did they feel about you dating their family member?
um I didn't receive any issues. The only person in her family that had sort of a problem was her older brother. But her younger sister, her younger brother, her mother, grandmother, another brother, they were very welcoming, of me and dealing with her. And again, it wasn't nothing that was just funny. You just because you're dating a trans woman, you don't have to have this whole, like, oh, I have to put this over in this other relationship spot area and sort of treat it different. If you treat that relationship the same as, dating a cis woman, then you'll see, for me personally, I've seen that I didn't have that many problems.
Hmm. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Troy.
Somebody just want to know if I date white girls. I've dated.
Listen, we already know
I,
who it is, right? So
I up until recently, I actually dated my first white girl recently. I had never dated a white girl before then. I've dated Hispanic women. I've dated Asian women. Mostly I've dated black women. So what do I believe in interracial dating? Yeah. If you my type and I'm your type, then yes.
since you brought it up, what is your type?
What do you mean? What's my type? I have a lot of types. I just said athletic, smart. Um, uh, she just got to be. She just got to be right. I mean, my type. It sits on a spectrum. It's
So
not
what about
something very
age range?
narrow.
Let's break it down. What about
Oh,
age?
here you go.
What's too young and what's too old?
Oh, under 35 is too young. I can't
Okay.
go under 35. I have been under 35. I've been way on. You already know.
Yes, I know, but we have
But ever
viewers
since then, I
who
got
are
better. I
watching.
got better. I went to rehab for the young women. I went to rehab. I
Okay.
went to rehab. 12-step program.
We have lots of ladies watching. So we want ladies, if you are 35 and older, yes, you can inbox Troy. All right. If you're under 35, I don't know. Have your mama hit him up because he's not messing with you. All right. I don't know. We just having fun here. We just having fun. Joel,
Uh,
do you have a preference? What is your type?
well,
Range.
well, I would say, I don't have that problem of age range like Troy, because I'm right in the middle. I could date younger, I could date older. So I don't have that problem. I like a girl that's, cultured a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I like to go to plays, operas, and things like that. And, to me, life is meant to be enjoyed. So, there's a lot of things that you can do. So when I look for a girl, that's, I want to see how versatile she is and doing different things, you know. And again, life is just so much stuff you could do, and it's beautiful. You don't want to miss out on the opportunities.
Yes, yes, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Like the ladies are eating this up right now. Right. And I have more questions coming. Davone, gather your questions because these questions are coming on.
I got a question before you go into yours.
Okay. All right, guys.
Do you feel like your masculinity is questioned because you're attracted to trans women? Troy, unmute yourself.
Oh, not at all. My brother told me a long time ago. Has anybody asked me? Has anybody ever stepped to me? Who gonna be my ass? Nobody's ever stepped to me. I'm not worried about it because physically you can't take me. Intellectually you can't handle me. So I'm not worried about it. So I can handle you with these or with this, and definitely with this mouth. So because I can, the dozens, as the old folks call it, and I was a master of the dozens. So nobody's ever tried me. So I used to fear that. And we can talk about fear and what fear means and what fear does. But there was a point in my life where I did live in fear, and I worried about what people might think and might say, but it never came to pass.
Joel?
Not right now, but I do agree with Brother Troy. Back in the past, I did used to live with fear as well too, about what people would think. But to me, I just never changed who I was. Always remained to be the same person that I was. Even making that transition from dating cis women to dating trans women a little bit more. I'm still doing all the same things that I've been doing.
Right. Well, thank you for sharing. Next question is about dating, right? Talk about dating skills, like what works and how do you find how does a trans woman find you guys, right? In other words, where do they go to find guys like you that actually want to date trans women? Like, is there a public place, where they can openly go to find guys that actually want to have a relationship and not want to hide in the shadows and not just want to fetishize the trans women? They actually want to um, pursue something with a woman, right? Joel said he loves to go to the opera and plays and stuff. Like, where do you guys hang out? Like, where do you meet trans women?
Is it a dating site?
For me, dating sites haven't, I tried them, they haven't worked. I just exist. I'm just out. I'm out and about. I'm in LGBT friendly places. I'm in, heteronormative spaces. I'm, I'm out there. So, I go to some of the drag bars and things of that nature, but that's somebody that people are sending me messages. It's really throwing me off. Stop sending me messages. Y'all throwing me off.
Well,
okay.
if they're not sending you questions, it's not helping, right? We need questions, right? Because I don't know why they're inboxing you, but send them to the YouTube channel and make sure that they subscribe. And we really need to get more questions. What do you want to know about Joel and about Troy and about transamorous men, right? So Troy, like what, where where can they find someone like you? Because now you told us about you, but like I know you have like groups. So are women invited to these groups?
Well, we do have a men's group that's called the Trans Supportive Brotherhood. Jonathan Hayden and I started it right after Chicago, and we've been around ever since then.
Pause. A lot of people don't know anything about that. So
I'm not going to talk about that.
no,
So
we're
I'm.
not talking about that. Can you give us
So it was 3 years. It was about three. Well, almost 4 years ago now. So
4 years?
actually, yeah. So the group's been running for 4 years. Just a group of brothers who support each other, who love each other. But we also have trans men in the group, trans men who date trans women. Jevon's in the group. We it's a group for men. It's for men to support each other. We can't call ourselves a trans supportive brotherhood if we don't allow our brothers in the group. Then we'd be hypocrites. So the brothers are there. The brothers have access. We can have open and honest conversations amongst brothers about how we feel and whatever it is. And it's something that was sorely needed. Unfortunately, women aren't allowed because we need a safe space. We need a space that we can vent. We need a space that we can share our pains and everything else without judgment. So I do have another group called the T-Spot that's been around about 8 or 9 years. Javon's in that group as well. And that's open to, trans men, trans women, cis men, cis women, and their families and people who support the community. In the beginning, Jevon and I were talking about this earlier. It was a little hot for the brothers in the group because the girls was bringing their swords and their arrows and everything, and they was cutting the brothers up, and a lot of them,
Really?
yeah, a lot of them cut and ran. A lot of them cut and ran because when you're faced with some of your own bullshit, it can be a little overwhelming, and a lot of guys couldn't handle it. So,
Right. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Joel, where can someone find a guy like you? See, because both of you are in Detroit, right? And all the girls are about to move to Detroit, right? So, where can the ladies find someone like you? The fellas, like besides dating apps and Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
OnlyFans, and stuff like that. Yeah.
I would have to say out and about, and you might find us at like LGBT friendly spaces as well too. But as far as I know right now, there's no concentrated place where trans women can find transamorous or trans supportive men at.
Right. What about conferences? Do you guys go to conferences like the conference on HIV and AIDS or any LGBT conferences creating change? Troy is banned. But um no, seriously, because conferences on HIV and AIDS, there are many LGBTQ people go to these conferences. I know I attend and there should be more cis men getting involved, right? To
Mm-hmm.
know their status, to know about HIV and AIDS and STDs, and we need to talk more about this, right?
but we both of us, we volunteer and have worked with LGBT Detroit, which is the largest Black LGBT organization in the country. They hosted our panel discussion last year, and we volunteer up there all the time. In fact, they call us to. We've been security. We've been always a fixture there. Over the last almost going on 2 years now. So we are in those spaces. We do go to those conferences. We do go to those discussions about sexuality and about sexual health and mental health. So we've been in the house for all of those things. So we are an active part of the community. We're there.
Mm-hmm.
We're always there.
Right. So someone wants to know. Well, we spoke about the HIV. How does HIV affect the community of transamorous men within dating trans women? Also, um, what does your family say about dating trans women?
Okay, those are two very separate questions.
Yep.
As far as HIV and dating in this community, we've actually had discussion. We have regular Zoom calls on Saturday with the men in our group. So this is actually, I believe it came up last week or the week before. It comes up often. It comes up quite often. We talk about it openly. We talk about knowing your status. We talk about PrEP. We talk about the things that you can do to prevent it. And one of the realities is that some of the women in this community, are HIV positive, and that's not necessarily a negative. We try to educate each other on that as well. Of course, some guys feel one way, some guys may feel another way about it, but those discussions are being had, and they're very, very important discussions. You want to take this first part, Joel? You want to add
I
something?
would like to say shout out to you equals you because undetectable, untransmittable.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Joel.
For me, for HIV, it's just all about education. Knowing how to protect yourself, being open and honest. If you have a partner that you're dealing with that is positive, then just no, having that discussion. What else can I say? It's just that's it to me. It's just education, discussion, being open and honest. Don't try to don't try to, you know what I'm saying, mislead, or, you know what I'm saying, don't try to, you know, misinterpret anything. It's just open, honest, and educating. That's what I feel about that topic.
Okay. All right. And the second part is your family.
Parents, yeah.
What does your family say about you dating trans
Well, I've been dating trans women for, like I said, better part of 30 plus years. My parents are fine with it. They've been fine with it. I was in a 10 plus year relationship. I was in another relationship that was almost 3 years. Uh, they're fine. I have grown children. They still call my ex mom. So there's that. You know, the trans woman that I was with for those 10 years, they still call her mom. She helped raise my boys. So, I mean, my family's fine. So it's really all about how, you know, you as a man look at yourself and accept yourself and how you walk in your truth. If you walk in your truth, you know, as a leader, as a man, everybody else will follow. And if they don't, then they don't deserve to be in your life. So see you. Deuces.
Joel.
I would say my mom is she's okay with it. Again, being new, you know, it's just a lot of information. You know, I would definitely have to educate, you know, her and my brothers a little bit more. But you know, I believe that, you know, that acceptability, you know, once they learn and understand, will come, you know, much more. But again, from what I know now, my mom is okay with it.
That's
I have a
good.
question. Can you explain to our audience how a cisgender male could be attracted to a trans woman and not be gay at all?
That's a stupid question, and it's unworthy of being answered. We already discussed it. Trans women are absolutely beautiful. Period. End of story. Everything else is how he feels about himself or how she feels about herself. These questions at this point, especially at this point in my life. You know, I've literally been in relationships with some very, very beautiful women who worked as fashion models. You know, come on now. I don't. If you're still want me to explain trans 101, whoever that person is, then you need to go to a different conversation. Trans women are women. We know that. Men are attracted to women. We know that. Full stop. Next question.
So this is for those people that don't get it, right? They don't
Right.
I don't
because
care.
they I know you don't. I know you don't. And it's
So we're here to educate them.
yes. Unfortunately.
Well, but here's the thing. I don't care how many times we explain what it is. They're not going to care. At some point, people need to step out of their own little box, out of their own little the knowledge they think they have, and expand their knowledge and expand that knowledge base. If you're not willing to do that, you know, that question within itself was already problematic because that person is viewing trans women as men, and we're not going there. So if trans women are women, then that's a dumb question. And that question is no different than the men who think, or the men and women who think that if a cis woman pegs her husband with a toy, he's gay. It's the same question. She's still a woman. She never stopped being a woman. So I'm not going to answer that question because you're stupid. And sometimes you have to call stupid people stupid. Next
I just
question.
heard this story this weekend about a woman telling her husband that he wasn't big enough. And so then he bought a strap and started strapping on to her. And now their sex life is perfect. And I was like, well, problem solved. But somebody else was like, you know, that's weird, you know, why, you know. And I was like, you know, I feel like in the bedroom, there shouldn't be no boundaries. I tell people that all the time. Once you have boundaries, things just start feeling like it's unnatural to me. Sex is supposed to feel very natural. You're supposed to feel free. And so if they had a problem when she felt like he wasn't pleasing her enough and she wanted something bigger, and then he put on a strap on, it does not make him gay. It just makes him a problem solver. He solved the problem.
I agree.
I agree too.
I so agree. And that's where we miss the mark at, right? People are always thinking with what's between their legs.
The sex
Right.
part of it.
Yes. And oh, if we have great sex, oh, this is the one because the sex is great, and oh, oh, the way they did me. But can you carry a conversation? Can you keep my interest out the bedroom, out the sheets? What are we talking about? What are we doing? Where are we going? Are we enjoying life? Just like Joel said, he loves operas and plays. He's he's a different type of guy, right? Not saying that he might not like the ratchet side, but he
You like strip clubs, Joel?
I've been before.
You been just
yeah,
not your
he
thing.
didn't, but do you like it?
Okay.
There's a
It
difference.
depends. You might have a good night, you might have a bad night.
Okay.
All depends.
I had a bad night at the strip club.
I've been to many
Might be
strip
low on funds, so you might somebody might come in there who has more money than you. All it depends.
Right. So also I have another question about marriage. And they're saying well, Troy already disclosed that he was married before. But the question is about marriage. What does that look like for you?
Normal.
I mean, finding a woman who I'm in love with and she loves me. We have the same goals and what have you. I mean, the reason I didn't get married.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
Froze.
Well, then you take it over, Joe.
Yeah, I'll fix it. Yeah, it's just finding that person that you can connect with, that you can grow with, who supports you, and that you can support. And when you find that person, then you can go ahead and get married and live blissfully. If it goes that route. So that's what I say about that. Like we have a lot of brothers in our group that are who've been married to trans women. We had one brother who's been with his woman for about 17 plus years.
Oh,
So those brothers are leaders. As far as like us young, to us young single brothers who are looking to get to those certain levels.
okay, Troy, you're
I'm,
back.
yeah, I'm back. I'm back. I guess I'm just an old single slut. No,
Nothing wrong with that. Okay.
no,
Because
I'm, no, no, but I am looking to, I won't say I'm looking. I'm open to a marriage and a long-term committed relationship. Just haven't found it. I've been relationship shy for about 5 years, so I got my feet back under me as far as just emotionally, as far as that's concerned. So it's just a matter of time, just being open and just continuing to work on myself, and hopefully she'll come through. I'm getting old, so I need an old woman. I can't be chasing these young girls though.
Well,
You
we
are
need
already
accolades,
Or old soul, one of the
Oh,
two.
Young, but with an old
you're
soul.
already an OG. Now I have a question, and this is coming from a trans woman, right? And they want to know your preference, right? Because we already went through this, and I think they popped in later. They want to know if your preference is pre-op or post-op. Joel.
Good question.
I don't have a preference on that. To me, again, it's not what's below the belt. It's all about the person. So
Good answer. Good
pre-op,
answer.
as long as you're a good person, and we can vibe together and we can do things together, that's all I'm worried about.
Nice. Troy.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I prefer pre-op. Again, I prefer a more natural girl. You know, um, I've dated post-ops. I've dated several post-ops. But again, just like with dating cis women, I prefer trans women. I prefer pre-op trans women. So
Okay. All right. Well, she got that answer. Someone else is asking about your group. They want to know if there's a group that they can be a part of where there are trans amorous guys.
As Troy mentioned before, the T Spot would be a good group for trans women to join.
And
Which
that's on Facebook.
Yep, that's on Facebook. Yep.
All right.
About to get a whole bunch of members tonight.
Listen, they want to know. And what about the group that is only for men? What's the name of that so that they can have some guys join?
Trans supportive brotherhood.
Trans Supportive Brotherhood is the name of the group on Facebook just for the guys.
Yep.
And you all meet every Saturday on Zoom?
Every Saturday on Zoom. Our meetings are at 8:30. They usually roll over to about 10:30, 11, depending on subject matter.
Y'all talk for 2.5 hours.
That we
Oh
have.
yeah.
That we have.
Wow. Okay. Are these Zoom calls recorded? Is there some clips that you all can share that maybe would be helpful to the women that are out here looking to date you guys, to meet you guys?
Well, we have recorded some of the conversations. As I told you earlier, there were a couple that we should have recorded that we didn't. And we're in the process of putting those clips together. And we're going to start a YouTube page where we share those with the world of YouTube, and a different Facebook page that we'll be sharing those with. So, because one of the things that we hear is that, well, men aren't having these conversations. You'd be surprised the conversations that we have. You know, so we're having the conversations, and we do invite women onto our Zoom calls as well. Trans women have come on as well, and and the family and supporters have been on the calls as well, because this is about supporting trans women, supporting trans men, supporting each other, you know, and we are all a part of the community. And so the rest of the community has to come in and has to have a place too. So yes, it's a group for us men to support one another, because we need that, and we need a place where we can go. But we still also do outreach to the rest of the community, to the women we love, you know, our trans brothers who are out there. We're there, and we're there. All you have to do is pop a message in the group, or pop a subject, and we're there for you. So it's a good place to be.
This is good. You have any more questions, Davone?
I do. How do you feel about men who fetishize trans people and view them as sex objects? And the reason why I ask that is because there might be some people, it might be some people tonight that's watching this and now all of a sudden is attracted to you. Possibly cisgender women might be attracted to you, but not for that, just for the fetish part of it. Or, you know, vice versa. How do you feel about that?
So, do men fetishize women?
Or do men just fetishize trans women?
No, what I said, do men fetishize cis women? Let me clarify.
They do. They do.
And, you know, there's the Playboy and all the magazines and the hustlers of the world before we got into internet. For the old folks, the first black magazine that had naked cis women, I saw Pam Grier was Players. Y'all don't know nothing about that. That's that old school.
I don't know nothing.
You don't know nothing about that.
Ebony and Jet magazine, you
Jet
go
magazine.
right to the middle.
Right to the middle.
Oh, to the bathing suit.
To the bathing suit. And that was the first thing when you got to Jet. The first thing the guy did was open it up and go to there. And then I'm gonna read the rest of the Jet. So when you say fetishize, I can understand where they're coming from, but at the same time, a beautiful woman is a beautiful woman. They're going to be men at a certain level. You know, he's going to be at a certain place in his life. You know, at one point when I was younger, I was doing a lot. So, you know, I wasn't ready for a relationship, but I was doing a whole lot of stuff with a whole lot of women. So, was I fetishizing them? Yeah, you could say that. When I started dating trans women, I repeated those same steps. So some guys never get out of that fetishing, that chasing, that chasing Pokemon, trying to catch them all. You know, some guys are always going to be Pokemon collectors. They're always going to try to get as many women as they want to, whether they're cis or trans. That's a reality. So when you start to talk about fetishizing, there's some other things that can go into it, but I like a certain kind of woman, and that's fine with me. If that's not fine, if you're not comfortable with me liking you for who you are, then that's okay too.
Joel, how do you feel?
I agree with Brother Troy all the way. To me, it's just a growth factor. We all, at one point in time, guys dealing with cis women, guys dealing with trans women, it's always that little sexual, thirst or whatnot, that fetishizing. And, it's just, again, it's levels, as Troy stated, some guys, they stay in a certain level their whole entire lives. But you get those guys who, elevate themselves to a different level. So, just for like sheer raw attraction, to either cis or a trans woman, you're going to have that. But, again, where are you going from that? Are you elevating yourself? Are you trying to do something different? Are you trying to be different? Are you working on yourself? That's what it boils down to. And if you're working on yourself and you're trying to get to a different level, then, you're not going to backtrack and go back to fetishizing cis or a trans woman. You're going to want more. You're going to want to do more. You're going to want to be more. You're going to want more from that woman. And that's going to come if that's what you're looking for, and that's in the direction that you're trying to go in. But that's just the way I feel about it. I mean, women period get fetishized period.
Let me ask you this question. So I feel like if they stay in that area, it could become dangerous for them, and also dangerous for the trans women, because I'm sure trans women, well, let me not say that, but I'm stating this, I'm sure they want relationships. And so to be with somebody who's not on the level that you two are on now, where you're looking for a relationship, but they are just looking for maybe a smash and pass, to say that that's what they did. Are you seeing that in your group and discussing that in the group?
Yes, we do. Some brothers, that's where they are, and it's okay to be there. As long as you acknowledge that, as long as you are upfront with the women that you're dealing with and they accept it, then that's fine. Sometimes that's where you are.
Yeah.
At this point in my life, I've turned down far more than I accept, exponentially.
See,
so
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, brother, but the beauty about our group is that we have brothers who have been through the trials and tribulations. And, even if you're at that level, you can talk to those guys. They can give you pointers to become better. So that's the beauty of our group. Again, we got brothers from all different levels. Troy has been in the game for 30 years. I've only been in for about 2 years. We have brothers who have been in, maybe 5 months or something like that. So it's just, it just depends on where you're at. And, each one of the brothers in our group, when we talk, we're educated guys. We respect people as is, and again, it's just that growth factor, as I mentioned earlier. Troy came out of a stage, I came out of the stage, and brothers who are coming in the group, eventually they'll go out of a stage as well too.
Jevon, your mic is off.
Okay, sorry about that. Yep, I had someone making noise in the background. Question is, are there any famous people in your group?
Yes.
And don't disclose.
No.
I would never ask that, because
you should know that.
I'm in the group. I know.
Right. Usually
That's a secret society, that group.
That's where I was going with it.
Yeah.
That's where I was going with this. So
and the beauty of and getting back to labels and the beauty of being open is that now, no matter how famous you are, there's a place for you. And we do hold that person accountable. We talk to him, we challenge him. We've done some things to help him understand where he is and what he does. So, and we've had some other famous people who, or semi-famous people who were kind of there. So it's men from all levels like trans women, from the homeboy in the hood, to, CEOs and people in Washington and everybody else, athletes, a lot of athletes and actors and things of that nature. So to think that this is something that's uncommon is just a misnomer. Y'all just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Wait, Jevon, I'm sorry. The group, how do you weed out the trolls? And how many members is in the group?
There's only about 155 members in the group.
Oh, so that's good. It's intimate.
The trolls usually expose themselves pretty quickly because we challenge each other. We challenge each other to be better. We challenge our language. We don't allow, for example, if you had it out with a woman, even though some of us may know who she is, we don't need to know her name. Whatever your issue is, you want to bring it to the table. We can discuss it, but we're not here to trash her. We're not here to make her, to soil her reputation because we're only hearing your side of the story. So there's a level of respect for the community. There's some trans women who are in the group who are just observers. So this is stuff that we do in real time. The trolls they show themselves quickly. Most of the times we can tell if we don't have a lot of friends that are in common or groups are in common and things of that nature, or someone didn't recommend you to us, we pretty much, we keep our eyes on you and we will throw you out.
That's good. And I appreciate that you protect the trans women in general, women in general. I just feel like, we're unprotected as a gender. And I appreciate you saying that you making sure that it's a safe space and they're not in there just bashing her.
Yeah, it's important. It's really important.
Very important.
So, I was going to talk about the secret society, right? Because that's what it's perceived to be. And for so many of us that are under the LGBTQ umbrella, and we see these videos, right? And we know trans women have been in these hip hop videos and all other videos for many, many, many years, right? Because she's getting paid to be in this video. So why should we expose her? They knew she was a trans woman when they hired her, right? But this is for show, this is for glamour, the glitz, the video, you know. But when it comes out that this person is a trans woman, and then here comes all the negativity. Here comes all the lash, the backlash, right? And how how do you all support these guys, these rappers, the the I guess you can say stars or entertainers and stuff that are in the group? Like what does that support look like for them? And then when they make a mistake, because they do, and there's one gentleman that made many mistakes, and we tried to come to help him. It didn't. It was like up and down, up and down, and I feel as though he was attacked by the women. He was also attacked by the men, and I don't think he got to learn and got to listen to where he made his mistake. So,
That individual, what the group also provides is there's a lot of one-on-one conversations happening. So where that individual or there's some other individuals who are new, who aren't comfortable with the group setting, we'll reach out to the brothers, different brothers, and have conversations with them to find out where they come from instead of feeling attacked. Some stuff he had to be attacked on. Real talk. And he had to hear how we feel, as individuals and as a group. So we hope we're men, we're Black men, Black women right now are under attack, cis women and trans women. We have to do better and be better for ourselves so we can make it better for them. And this is one way that we can do it, by holding ourselves accountable, by challenging us, no matter who we are. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what fame or what money you have. Let's have a conversation. Let's be better. Let's do better. And, that's I think Javon's been in the group, I think, since its inception. So since day one. So, this isn't something that he's hearing for the first time. He understands, what we do, and that we do strive to be better. So.
Yeah, I just wanted those that are watching to hear that from you, right? Because there are other entertainers, football players. Sorry, not trying to single no one out, but there are athletes, right? Um, there are men of all types attracted to all types of women, right? And what we are saying is that it is okay to love, like, be admired, like you admire women, right? Open the door to love all types of women, right? And don't think that it's that taboo that's there if you find out that someone was a trans woman and oh no, it's a trans woman. Now I have to kill her. This is what we have to stop. This is why we're having these discussions, because of the whole, oh, I was tricked, right? You weren't tricked, right? You knew, because majority of the trans women disclose. I'm not saying all, I'm saying majority, right? Because they want to be safe, right? And the ones that I know will be like, pause. How do you feel about trans women? Right? They won't, majority won't say that they trans, but they'll say, hey, do you have problems with trans women? Do you have problems with the LGBT community? They'll come off like that. And then if you say no, then they might later on down the line. But why disclose before you even get to know the person?
I agree.
Might not be compatible. So why am I telling you straight off the bat, hi, I'm trans? You might not like the way I eat my food. We haven't even had dinner yet. You I snore louder than I don't know what. Yeah, I do. So you might not want to lay next to me, right? Some people might think, oh, that's cute. You sound like a grizzly bear. Right? But no, I'm just saying, like, why are we putting this on women, saying, oh, you have to disclose? Do we tell cis men and cis women to disclose? No. Like, we just want to get to know you and see if we vibe, like Joel said. We want to get the vibe going, right? And once the vibe is going, and if you think it's gonna go somewhere, then you may or may not want to say something, right? When it's safe for both parties, right? Because I don't know what you've been through, and you don't know what I've been through. Troy, triggered.
Well, I agree with you about disclosure, because if you're just getting to know someone, that really shouldn't be the first thing they need to know. But most men operate out of fear. Most men have been socially conditioned to think a certain way about trans women, and hence about themselves. And as far as fear is concerned, it's something that I've put in the group, and I've read in the group a number of times. And there's somebody I'm going to kill because they keep sending me messages. And it's from the movie After Earth with Will Smith. It's when he's talking to his son about fear. He says, fear is not real. The only place that fear can exist is in thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination, causing us to fear things that do not at present and may not ever exist. That is near insanity. Do not misunderstand me. Danger is real, but fear is a choice. And most men choose to live in fear. Most men don't realize that they're not the Lone Ranger, that their homeboy like the girls too, or their cousin or their brother. or a coworker or whatever, or their father. It could be, your uncles. It could be all of these people, all of these men that you intersect with every day, that you deal with every day. But even after all of these years, it's still something that men don't talk about, because we've been socially conditioned to, for some reason, our masculinity is threatened because we like trans women. Trans women are beautiful. If you don't like them, that means there's more for me because there ain't that many out there. So that's fine. Y'all can stay over there. But that's the problem. That's part of the issue. The issue is these men are living in fear, and that fear is causing them to do things that are horrendous. How can you be in a relationship like Ty Underwood? She was in a relationship with the guy who killed her. And even his own mother turned him in, and he was cheating on her, and she went to confront him. They got in the car and he shot that girl in the head. Isla Nettles disclosed on the street. On the street, the guy catcalled her. She said, "Hey, by the way, I'm trans." He beat her, he almost beat her to death, and she ended up dying from those injuries. So again, here we go. It's not the woman's issue. It's that man's issue. So if you tell before, if he knows and he's doing, that's an issue with that man, and that's another reason why that group exists, because we want to take away that stigma, and we want to walk in our truth to inspire other men to do the same.
Yeah. So it's kind of like with those two. Well, I know from Elon Nettles, 'cause I have to see it. It's kind of like she challenged his masculinity, just like what you said. And his boys were standing there. Oh, you're not gonna punk me in front of my boys. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, well, you wasn't saying that last night, right? And it's not, it's not right. You know, um, words don't hurt. I mean, keep your hands to yourself. Don't, try to hurt anyone physically. They're just words. If you don't like what someone says, okay, just go about your business. They're not paying your bills. They're not doing nothing for you. Let them live. Let them go and be them. Like you're losing out your life because of what someone said. People talk about me every day. I'm still being great while they still talking. So, I mean, we have to learn to let things go in one ear and come out the other. And it takes time, to not feel or to be hurt by what certain people say. But
it's not necessarily what they're saying. It's about what you think they may be saying. So that's why in that quote, it's fear of things that may not ever exist. So you're worrying about, and even with my own case, and I use myself as an example, I thought my parents would feel a certain way. And when I brought it to the table, it wasn't an issue. But my fear painted a whole different picture. That whole scenario looked different in my head. It was wrong. So is that part of that insanity? Part of worrying about something that I never had to worry about in the first place? I know that's my story, but for a lot of the guys' stories, a lot of guys in the group, what they thought versus the reality of it all were two entirely different things. So there's that.
amazing, amazing. Is this group that you guys have, is it specifically for black men or is it for all men?
Oh no, we
It's
have
for,
all type of men, within that group. Hispanic, white, black. It doesn't matter. As long as you're a guy who's, knowing what he likes and wants to learn more, wants to become better, wants to do more. This group is for you.
All right.
Have you ever had to kick out anybody from the group because they came in negative and you try to school them on a better way of thinking and they just wouldn't get it?
Yes, there have been a number of guys that we had to kick out of the group because they can't deal with their own issues.
Do you worry about them? Because now, in your group, you're a safe space and you're doing the work. You're holding people accountable and responsible for their actions. You're teaching them love. And now, you try, and you're not getting to them. Now they're out there. these could be, you know, the men that are attacking trans women because of fear.
Well, what we've done, and it wasn't necessarily a fear, but there was a couple of guys who were very problematic, and they made very problematic posts on their Facebook page. So instead of taking it to the men's group, and this is something that those brothers put on their page. I just put it in a T spot, and I let the girls handle it. So you put this on your page, you made it public. So here, let trans women deal with you and your garbage. And I just put it in there, and I run out the other door because I know they're gonna get them together. But we have had guys who they just don't get it and don't want to get it, and they're stuck in this place. And we don't. I'm sorry, but if you don't want to help yourself, then we can't help you. And you have to be able to listen, to learn, to grow, and to evolve. If you think you know everything, I don't know everything. I learn stuff new every day. Every call that we have, I learn something new. And it's important that we be open and be accountable, and take it from there. If you're not willing to do that, then that's fine. There's a place for you. But we have shared when things are a problem, and Jevon, again, this is stuff that he knows about. We will say, hey, look out.
And see, what I would like to add is, even those brothers that are problematic, we will talk to them. Some brothers, we gave multiple chances to get themselves together through various talks. Brothers have independently reached out to those guys, to talk to them, to see what's going on. But again, some of those brothers, as Troy said, they just don't get it together, and we have brothers that 3 strikes and you're out. It's like how far do we have to go to help these individuals out? As Troy stated, if they don't want to help themselves out, that'll just be that can hinder our evolution. If we always have to take steps back to get brothers together every time they make mistakes, and if they're not learning from those mistakes.
Well, I like the fact that when you find out somebody's problematic and you can't reach them, you kind of like put it out there to trans women, let them know this one could be a problem. So if anyone want to take the chance in dating him, they will be, they have knowledge that this one could be a little problematic,
And the girls see, they know who's problematic. Some of them choose to mess with those guys, whatever appeal that they have. That they know that some of these guys are stuck on one level. They haven't had any growth. They don't evolve, and that's where they choose who they choose to deal with. So, there's accountability on both sides. One of the problems is we don't have difficult conversations as a community. Because as Jevon was saying earlier, people get triggered. Sometimes the conversation triggers someone, it offends someone, but it's something that needs to be talked about. And I understand that might bring you trauma. We'll take a step back away from the conversation, let other people talk about it, and that might help teach some other people, might help some other people to grow or to learn, to not make that same mistake. So difficult conversations have to be had. And sometimes things are going to offend you. But, are you going to stop that from helping you grow and helping others grow?
Mm-hmm.
As a Black and brown community, we are the most triggered. We have the most traumas. And so that's difficult, it's just really difficult. Sometimes you can't help from somebody being triggered. And, unless you're a therapist, to be able to work them through that, it's a little difficult to handle.
Oh, Davone, I have something.
I'm glad y'all doing the work.
I have something for you, Davone.
Okay.
One of the young ladies over here said that they admire you and they love you, and they would like to have you do their makeup and lashes anytime because you are incredibly stunning.
Oh, Tell them to inbox me.
There you go. There you go. um, um, someone is saying that can the brotherhood help connect um them to some single guys?
We are not a dating site.
I was say that, right?
You could have answered that question. We're not a dating site.
Right. So
I know,
I
I know, but I just wanted to read their question, right? And I wanted to tell them to go in the T spot, right? And the T spot is not a dating site either, but you may find some single cis men, trans men in the T spot.
Right.
So,
most of the men that's in the brotherhood is in the T spot.
Some of them are. Many of them are.
So they can go into the T spot.
So you know.
And there's no dating site just for trans people.
Rough. The T spot is rough, Davone, right?
Is it?
Yes, because it's like, what's the T, right? And you go in there for all the tea, right? And
I gotta go in the T spot. I'm joining the T spot. I'm an ally. I'm joining the T spot.
You can be in the T spot, but some days the T spot is dry. Some days the T spot is popping. My auntie Erin be up in the T spot going off, and I love her. She lets you have it. She's the real. I feel, this is just my opinion, she is the female version of Troy.
Oh, she gonna kill you for that.
I know she is.
Oh,
I know she is.
my God.
But the two of them, when they read, oh my goodness. When I see her reading, I'll be like, that's something that Troy would say. When I see Troy reading, I'll be like, that's something Erin would say. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Sometimes she'll tag me in something, and she's like, yes. Oh, you need to come look at this.
Yes, they piggyback and they get in on some things, and I pop in the room and I pop back out, and I'm like, okay, nobody.
It's in a nice, respectful manner.
Yeah. Send me the link to the T spot. I'm joining.
They be snatching edges. They be getting the kids together.
Lord.
Yes.
But, and it's just not just the guys. You know the girls. We get the girls together too. So we're equal. Everybody. It's an equal opportunity snatching, as you said. So.
As you see,
that's why I don't have no hair. That's right.
They don't snatch it all off.
All right.
But again, there is no dating app or site for transgender people.
Facebook.
Oh, that new Facebook dating.
No, there are some out there. I've tried a couple. I've never had luck with those. So. And plus I'm an older guy, so
Christian Mingle.
Oh, not Christian Mingle. Our time is over 50. Our time is their time. Not Christian Mingle.
Farmersonly.com. Farmersonly.com. There we go.
Wait, OnlyFans? Go live?
No, OnlyFans is sex driven. It's for the whole sex industry.
Listen, some people find love there too.
For me personally, dating sites never worked. For me personally too.
They never worked.
Yeah, they never worked for me personally.
Well, I know a year ago or two, we had translations. D. Jamel had the app for trans people to go and find people to hang out with, to meet up with, to link up with. It's translations. It might still be up. I started the app when it first started to support. They had parties here and stuff. So you might want to look at it. Translations, it might still be up. Also, just regular dating sites, they do have trans people on it. I know back in the day, people were on Adam for Adam. They were on Jacked and
but those are mostly geared towards gay men. I mean, OkCupid has some stuff. There's a new one called Tammy or Tiami or something.
Yeah, came out. Yeah, I thought that was a lesbian one. It's not a lesbian one.
No, there are trans women on there.
LGBT.
Okay.
LGBT.
Okay, I didn't go on there, but when it comes up on my Instagram feed, they always show these cute little studs. I thought it was a lesbian.
Well, they know what you like.
They know what I want, right? So they show me what I want. They probably show y'all something different.
That's what it is. Isn't it Tamara or Tamia?
Something like that.
yeah.
And it's from the UK, I think. The designers are from the UK, the owners.
Well, I remember back in the day we had what was it called, Davone? We were
I started on PC chat line.
Oh, you going way back.
I started on PC chat line.
I started on AOL groups.
And then I went to AOL groups.
And Yahoo
right.
groups. Yep.
No, I didn't do Yahoo. I was on AOL.
I was on Black
Yahoo was.
Planet. I know y'all was on Black Planet.
Oh yeah, I was on.
I was on Black Planet. I got added at my job because of my Black Planet Planet profile.
Y'all talking about some social sites before me.
Oh, you a baby? I forgot you 38.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
He just remember Match.com.
And then there was Downlink.
Downlink was popping. MySpace.
Yes, MySpace.
MySpace, yep.
Yeah.
And you know they have the whole LGBT Facebook, right? There's a whole nother Facebook, just like they have Black Facebook. Yes.
Really?
I never heard of it.
Yes, they have a Black Facebook.
Neither.
I can't deal with any more social media.
Come on, you're the IT guy.
I never heard of them.
Yeah, all of this. Well, we've got like about 15 minutes left, and okay, let's see. Someone is saying those sites cost money. Trans people don't have money. So they don't want us to talk about that.
But they can go on Facebook dating, right? Is that not free?
Yes, I believe Facebook dating is free.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah. Someone is saying that we are asking all the good questions, and Joelle, you have an admirer.
Oh, Joelle, somebody wants you to take them to a Broadway play.
I got
inbox. He said he's single.
He's not coming.
I got inbox about you too, brother. I got an inbox about you. So.
Look at that. There you go, Joelle. See?
Look at that smile.
Yep. Look at him. You got him blushing, ladies.
Because become my dating site.
Well, just know that he is a very refined young man, and remember, he loves the opera. So if you cannot sit through 2-3 hours of
Lord Jesus,
don't even waste your time. Okay, I'm here to tell you.
He's not kidding. He goes to the opera.
Oh yeah. I've taken a few girls there before.
Did they enjoy it?
Oh, they did.
Did they understand it?
Well, you can't understand the language, but you
some plays they do have it to where it's translated in English, so they'll have like a little like a little board or something like that, digital board that you can read what they're saying.
Oh, that takes away from it.
Yeah, it does take away from it. And you do have a lot of some plays like Sweeney Todd that are in English, so it all depends. And again, to me it's just you want to, to me it's just taking these girls outside of like, of course they're in the LGBTQ world, but letting them expand that world. That's only part of the whole ecosystem. You want them to be able to see other things, do other things. You just don't want to have them in this one little cube, in this one little box. You want them to expand their horizons the whole way around.
Yes, that's why we travel, right, Davone?
No, I travel extensively. I'm trying to get out of here now. Troy said that he likes his women athletic. Joe, how do you like your women? And I'm talking about like BBW, athletic. What do you like? They want to know.
I could do average to athletic. I've dated skinny. haven't had athletic yet, but mostly just average. So just somewhere in there, you
So
know.
no BBWs.
Uh, haven't dated one yet, but I just haven't dated a BBW yet.
Okay, so you're open to whoever. Just a
Because
nice.
BBWs need love too.
That they do. That they do. That they do.
And they sexy, they got more to love.
They do. That they do.
We always talk about BBWs in the group that me and Jevon is in. I'm not in y'all secret group.
It's not a secret, Davon.
That's a secret society. All y'all got is trust.
All right. Well, guys, is there anything that you all want to add? Because when we close out, we just want you to share your social media, how people can get in contact with you or not. um, Troy is well known, but just in case people don't know you, right? And they're like, oh my goodness, I think I'm attracted to trans women and I need someone to talk to that is experiencing this. Where would they find Troy?
I mean, it's easy to find me on Facebook, Troy Kennedy. That's my name. On LinkedIn, that's my name. So this isn't some alternative name that I've come up with. That is who I am. I also have a YouTube page called Ask a Transamorous Man. You can hit me up there as well. I'm on Instagram. I don't know what I'm on Instagram. Oh, Mr. Kennedy on Instagram. And I'm Buff Blackwell on Twitter.
Come on, Buff Blackwell.
And that's BUFFBLKWELL, because I used to wrestle. I used to wrestle at one time, and I knew this wrestler, this wrestler, that was part of his name, and I was black, and he used to joke, "Yo, look at you, you think you're a Buff Blackwell?" My son used to call me that, so yeah. So.
Oh my goodness! All right. Now, Joel, where can the ladies find you?
They can find me on Facebook as Joel Hocker, or Instagram is Hocker Joel.
How do you spell the last name?
HOCKER.
Oh, that's it. There's no
alias.
No Big Black Joe.
No.
Big Black Joe.
You're killing me, brother.
Listen, you need Troy Big Black Will.
That sounds like you need to be in a whole nother group.
I'm trying to get to where Troy is at with all the social media.
Listen, you can be Big Black Joe and I'll be Big Black Jay.
I don't want a name. Don't give me a name. It sounds like it's going all wrong.
I'm gonna go ahead and get my calculator for that then.
Yeah, hey, meet the blacks. That's what it's called. Meet the blacks.
Meet the blacks.
Oh my God. Say the groups again, just in case somebody didn't get it.
Okay, for the brothers out there, it's called the Trans Supportive Brotherhood. We are actually putting up some new questions to allow you in, because lately, because of all our social media presence has increased, so we've been getting a lot of members to the group. So we're going to be slowly letting people back in, because we're changing our vetting process. But the Trans Supportive Brotherhood, if you want to come to the T Spot, just pop us a request to get into it. It's TEA Spot SPOT, the T Spot. That group's been around for 8 years. Damn, we've been along a while. Jevon was part of that group when it started. Too.
Yeah.
Y'all got me feeling too young out here.
Listen, one day you'll be where Troy is, and it's amazing to meet so many people. We're having a conference coming up next year. Mm-hmm. The Black Trans Advocacy Conference in Dallas, Texas. And this will be the first year where the guys are going to come through and they're going to open the door to talk, to the community about who they are. And people will feel free to come and join, and you can meet the guys that are in the group. The guys that are in the group get to meet each other, right? Because everyone will be in one space at a conference. And this conference is for the Black trans community. And this is the conference that I've been a part of from day one. I was the first member. Next year will be, I believe, our 9th year. If not the 9th, it'll be the 10th. 2011, 2021. It'll be the 10th year. Yes, because it started in 2011.
Well, that's a big deal. And let me say this. Jevon has been trying to get me to that conference for the last 5 years, and I didn't listen. And Monica and Diamond did convince me to go. So sorry, Jevon.
You're gonna be there, and it's a long time coming because it's a safe space. We're gonna make sure the guys are safe. We have always looked out for one another, and
Sure.
I thank you both for being here. And Davone, thank you for holding space and being my co-host and holding us down here. Everyone that's watching, we apologize for the technical difficulties. Once again, Facebook didn't allow us to post the Zoom on our Facebook page, and this is why we're on YouTube. So please like my channel, Dejanay 2002. Subscribe to my channel so that I can change my name. And then Davone, you can say your channel.
Conversations with Davone. You can just Google it, it'll come up.
And please subscribe to her channel. We have several other videos that we have done. This is all about the LGBT community. This is how we can support one another. Education starts with us, right? And if there are any people that you want to talk to or any topics that you want, you can inbox Davone or myself. We are also broadcasting live in Pretty Tomboys TV, and that has over 1,700.
About 2,000.
Oh, we're at 2,000. So
We're at 2,000.
yeah. Get a load of that, Troy. Yeah, we got 2,000 lesbians and trans
And a sprinkle of trans men.
and trans men.
Yeah, we don't have any trans women in the group. If you want to join the group, you can join the group. It's called Pretty Tomboys because it started with stud or aggressive lesbians that was a little bit on the softer side, and the women that liked them and or loved them. And then harder, aggressive started coming in, and trans men. And we welcome trans women. We have bisexuals. We have everybody in our group. We welcome you. So you can join Pretty Tomboys as well. You can look it up on Facebook.
Yes. All right. So thank you all for watching, and we appreciate you for being here. Please subscribe. Please. Also subscribe to Troy's channel. Is the
Ask a Transamorous Man.
Ask a Transamorous Man. All right. Thank you, everyone, and good night and be safe.
Good night.